Hi, everyone. It is Miss Lisa Murphy, the ooey gooey lady. And on this rainy day, I wanted to remind you, and I know it's Monday, of the importance of what I like to call the juicy verbs. The juicy verbs are the running and the jumping and the climbing and the spinning and the rolling and all of that stuff. That those verbs are 100% developmentally appropriate for the age group that you are probably, if you're listening to me, more than likely that you work with. If you work with infant, toddler, preschool, pre-K, K, I'd even say go up to 2 because early childhood is birth to age 8 up into second grade. So the kids are going to move their bodies in that way, whether you like it or not. So this is going to be a really quick nugget reminder that the juicy verbs are going to happen regardless of how you feel about them. So the way to make sure that you are less stressed about them is to make sure that the environment has places where the juicy verbs are able to happen. Because they're either going to happen where you've kind of sanctioned it. And let me digress here really quick, especially if you're new, and let you know that the secret to good teaching, and I'd argue good parenting, is controlling the environment, not the little kids in it. So when you say things like we don't climb here, we don't throw here, we don't roll here, well, you're lying, first of all, because they're going to do it, and now they're going to do it probably when you're not watching. So where is the place where they can roll or jump or climb or throw or scream? Like, where is that going to be? Because the behavior is going to happen regardless. So it's either going to happen in a place that is less stressful for you, where you're kind of okay with it, or it's going to happen all the time and you're going to get absolutely crazy and you're going to think that you have an out of control child when really you have an environment that needs some modifications. You don't have a kid that needs a timeout. You have an environment that needs to be reframed or re-examined or reflected on. Because those verbs, I'm going to repeat myself, are things that kids do. It's what they bring to the table. And by signing up to work with young children, this is your job. This is what you've signed up for. Expecting 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s to act more like an age you like better is not okay. This is what we signed up for. So how we respond, how we react, how we respond and react to those verbs is 100% going to determine whether that verb continues or whether it starts to de-escalate. And to quote Dan Hodgins, rest in peace, Dan. What did Dan used to say? Oh man, I could do a whole post on Dan-isms. Dan used to say, stop making moral issues out of developmental ones. And we'll come back to that another time. I made a note. I already wrote it down. Stop making moral issues out of developmental ones. And instead, ask yourself, okay, 3-year-olds do this verb. They're verbing. They're needing to do this verb, regardless of how I feel about it. So what part of this verb can I say yes to? That's your homework. That's your challenge. That's what I want you thinking about this week. After you've watched this, maybe you've had lunch with Lisa, start thinking about that. What part of this verb can I say yes to? And be gentle with yourself, because maybe for the next week, maybe for the next 2 weeks, maybe for the next month, your baby step is just pausing for a minute and asking that question of yourself. You might still react to it the same way. You're going to start getting frustrated with that, though, because by controlling the environment and identifying a place where those verbs can happen, what part of this verb can I say yes to? We'll come back to this. More on this another time. Not more on this another time. That makes it sound like I'm ending and not on a complete throat. What? Thought. Meaning that there's always more, especially of this topic. There's always another layer of that onion. Always another layer. If right now you know you want more about controlling the environment, see this orange book? That's the one you need to get. Lisa Murphy on Being Child-Centered. And in that book, we go over the 9 indicators of what child-centered actually means. And I've already planned a whole series of posts on that. So, just so you know, you might not see me for a couple days, but the brain's working and the ideas are coming, and I will see you next time. But for right now, I want you thinking about the juicy verbs, all those behaviors that kids do How are we reacting to them? How are we responding to them? Are we escalating it by running around saying no, 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 no all the time? Or are we asking ourselves, we're pausing, we're reflecting instead of reacting, and we're asking ourselves, what part of this can I say yes to? And being gentle with ourselves and remembering that just asking that question might be the baby step that gets us to Friday. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Lisa Murphy. You can find more about me and what I do in my workshops and my keynotes at ooeyGooey.com. And those are 2 of my 5 books. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.